It's not uncommon for a wholesaler to inflate the value of it and deflate, for lack of a better word, the repair budget. Hey everyone, Kevin Amos, Pine Financial Group. We work together so you succeed. If you're just coming across this video, please hit subscribe. We would love to have you subscribe to our channel and maybe hit the notification button so you could get notified each time we have fresh new content. I have a very special guest with me today. You know him, you love him. It's Travis Spear. We're talking about wholesale deals. We all get a ton of wholesale deals in our email boxes. I get some, I think every single day I get a deal from somebody. So how do I know which ones to spend my time on and which ones not, and how to analyze these quickly so I'm more efficient with my time? What do you do, Travis?
Yeah, so I guess depending on the wholesaler that actually sent it, the first step might be just to delete it, right?
Yeah, we were preparing for this video and I said, we should do this video. And I said, what do you do? He's like, I hit delete.
And mostly joking, but you know, as you find wholesalers and you find their deals and how they analyze them and the prices that they offer, you pretty quickly realize who's offering deals that are going to make sense and those who are trying to retire off of the next wholesale deal that they found. Maybe it's actually retail. And so one of the first things I do is I'm looking for the specific area. So, you know, being an investor for nearly 10 years, mostly with rental properties, fix and flips, that kind of stuff, when you see something come across your desk, you have an idea, okay, well, I know what part of town this is in. I know pretty quickly whether or not that's a part of town that I'm interested in investing. It might be based on what the rent rates might be. It might be based on what the price would be, what the after repaired value would be, and if I know if I can get a good cash flow in that area. So the first thing I'm doing is just trying to identify what part of town it's in.
So that's easier for you than it would be for somebody newer because they don't know the areas so well.
Sure, but the cool thing with the internet is you would just copy and paste the address and get an idea of where it is, right?
You actually drive down the street with Google.
Drop the little guy, look around.
So for me, my first thing I do is look at the numbers that the wholesaler is providing to me.
Okay.
I'm going to assume, sorry any wholesalers out there, I'm going to assume that the numbers are not accurate.
Sure.
And once we do some deals and I can see that the wholesaler is providing accurate numbers, that opinion will change. But it's not uncommon for a wholesaler to inflate the value of it and deflate, for lack of a better word, the repair budget. But I'll just go ahead and start with their numbers, do my math, purchase plus repairs divided by value, and if I'm at 75% or less, I'll take a closer look at it.
Yeah, and so what you just mentioned is your first step would be the second step I would take if it was an area of town I was interested in. Okay. I guess it would be opposite for you. You want to get a feel for the numbers and then maybe dig in a little bit more to where it's located.
Yeah, just because I can do the numbers in about a half a second, so I choose to start there. But that's
sure. So after identifying where it is and whether or not the numbers work, then you're going to get into a little bit more of the diligence that they maybe have provided to you. Some pictures, when does it need to close, you know, maybe the type of financing you can use if it needs to close quickly. If you're going to flip it, you're going to probably start to really dig in on the after repaired value to try to get an idea of whether it makes sense to get in the car. Because as investors, our highest value is our time, right? So the last thing you want to do is jump in the car, drive all the way across town, only to find that the house is on a busy road or backs to railroad tracks, or the neighbor next door has 17 cars in the backyard. So that's why we like to use Google Maps, right? Because you know, we joked a little bit, but you can look, you can drop the guy down, you can, you know, it might have been a year ago since the last did the map view, maybe it was less than that, but you can kind of get a feel for the neighborhood, you can kind of get a better feel for the house. Maybe the picture that they presented wasn't the best picture of the house, and so you can kind of get a feel for what's going on there. And you can see if it's next to a 7-Eleven or a gas station or something like that, and then decide whether or not it makes sense to get in the car. Now I say get in the car because that used to be kind of the strategy you would take. Now you'd probably actually, you know, tell the wholesaler you're interested and see if there's a showing scheduled or something like that. So
that's happening a lot more now, where we're seeing showings where they get a lot of investors all to come together at one time, almost to try to create a frenzy for.
Yeah, and that's something you have to be very, that's something you have to really understand, because what happens when there's a lot of people there is it gives you this feeling of scarcity and you may not stick to your number. So if you go through the things that we mentioned, you know where it is, you know the numbers are, you have a good idea of what the repairs are going to be, maybe from the pictures. Then when you get on site and somebody's willing to pay $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 more than you're willing to pay, you know you can stick to your number. It sometimes happens where you show up and the wholesaler is providing to you the comps that they're using to show the value. Sometimes the comps are 2 miles away. Sometimes the house is twice the size. Sometimes they're terrible to indicate the value as an inflated value, and you make a decision based on that, give them hard earnest money that you're not going to be able to get back. and you find yourself trying to get a deal done that doesn't make any sense because you weren't prepared to do that. So hopefully this video will give you an idea of how to quickly analyze a wholesale deal to make sure that it makes sense for your business.
Yeah, I just want to, before we close out here, I want to maybe apologize a little bit. We did joke about deleting emails because we get so many wholesale deals that are not good, but I did just 1 month ago buy a deal from a wholesaler. I didn't even go look at the property. So you talked about getting in the car. I absolutely think you should do that. But this was a condo, and so I just figured, worst case scenario, it's gonna be 20, 25,000. Worst case for repairs. So I just plugged that into my formula. The deal worked, so I put it under contract immediately. And good thing I did, because there was another buyer willing to buy it without looking at it with like about 5 minutes after I locked it up.
In fact, after you locked it up, somebody reached out to you
And then he
willing to
wanted to-
offer
yeah.
you more money to get the deal.
Yeah, he
So
called it back.
you've got to be able to act quickly, and that's one of the things in this business where practice really helps you do that, so that you know your numbers, you know what you can offer, and you know how to make good deals.
All right, if you enjoyed the video, again, please share it with your friends, leave some comments below, and check us out at pinefinancialgroup.com.